Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this one we will be comparing and doing a speed test between this year's iPhone 16 and last year's iPhone 15 Pro Max. So today's regular and yesterday's Pro, going head to head between the battle of the processors. And so at the moment, both of these phones are charged over 90%, and battery health of these are normal, and also peak performance capability, and both of them running same version of iOS, and both of them running on the same Wi-Fi as well. So we will be turning them both on, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we'll see if this year's regular beats the last year's Pro model, and we'll be comparing all the regular daily usage applications as well. Oh, okay. All right, so the 15 Pro Max started out much quicker than the regular iPhone 16, and let's quickly unlock those and begin. Okay, so the brightness to the maximum. And as you can see, both of them connected to the same Wi-Fi network, and cellular off, and Wi-Fi Arthur Morgan, AirDrop, and all the settings are same in both of the devices, and the brightness cranked to the maximum as of now. And so we will be beginning by the regular applications, like first-party Apple applications, and then we will move to a little bit of social media, and then we will move to the games. And the games that I've selected are very high intensity, so none of those mini clip games. So we got like full-fledged console game right here, and a lot of other intense games as well. And so then we will move to the creative applications like video editing, video recording, and stuff, and then we will move to the synthetic benchmarks of these mobiles. So we will begin with App Store. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this one is wobbling a lot, and but the iPhone 16 was a little bit quicker than the other. So instead of saying the full phone's name, so I'll be referring to left and right. So left is 16, right is 15 Pro Max. And so we will also be leaving all these applications open in the background to check the RAM performance, like how the applications are being handled in the background. So this phone is like rattling a lot than the other one, so I'm kind of concerned on that. So if it'll be slowing my speed or affecting the clicking of me clicking and opening the applications. So let's go for the App Store now. 1, 2, and 3. And I'll definitely have to give it to the left hand side. This one was much quicker. And let's move to the next one. Next is calculator, and calculator kind of opened similar, but this one was again just a little bit ahead. And also just would like to mention that this one is rocking a A17 Pro chip, and this one is rocking A18 regulars, not the Pro one. And let's open the news. And that one, again, I'll have to give it to the left-hand side. It was a little bit quicker on that one. And now, as we are done with the first-party applications, we'll just move to something a little more realistic and go for the social media applications, and we'll go for a Snapchat first. And so results are a little bit surprising. So on Snapchat, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so I'll have to give it to the right hand side. iPhone 15 Pro Max opened it a little quicker. And now time for Instagram, and there. And this one, for my eyes, kind of seems like both of them loaded at the same time. But I will let you be the judge. Please let me know in the comments down below, and tell me which one was quicker. So both of them going head to head as of now. And we'll move to the Netflix and let's check that one out. Okay, so this time it was obviously clear. The iPhone 16 was much quicker than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So I'll have to give it to the left-hand side right now. So let's go to the home screen again, and we will go for the Chat GPT application, our beloved friend that helps me in all kinds of situations. Okay, both of them were opening it exactly at the same time, so no difference in Chat GPT. And now let's up the ante and we will go for the much intense video game applications. So first of all, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage right there. So that's a full-fledged PC and console game installed on an iPhone. So let's launch it and see how it goes. Assassin's Creed Mirage on this one. And we'll give it a moment to load and we'll see, because this game is a really intense game. It's like a full-fledged console and PC game, so this will take a moment to load, so we will see which one works better, which one is slower. So as of now, I think iPhone 15 Pro Max is in the lead, and not by much. It's just a little tiny bit quicker than the other one, so showing these screens a little quicker. And yeah, so 15 Pro Max, I'll have to give it to the right hand side, and the 15 Pro Max takes the win in this one. Let's click tap to start and see if that will change anything. Yeah, so the game pretty much is loaded, and so 15 Pro Max loaded it just by a couple seconds quick. And let's go for the Call of Duty, and this one is also like all the games that I'm gonna be testing in this video are a little high intensity. So but I'm a little confused by the results. So again, with this game as well, iPhone 15 Pro Max. Oh, okay. Well, so like the loading bar went a little quicker on the 15 Pro Max, but the game actually started and gave us the options to do a bunch of other stuff little more quicker than the right hand side. So I'll have to give it a tie, because this one was a little quicker on the bar and this one loaded, like this one caught up after that part. So, and now we will move to Farming Simulator 23, because no one really plays Farming Simulator on their phones because these games are so poorly optimized. But still, for the sake of the stress testing these phones and the processors, I have it installed because poorly optimized games are like really nice benchmarks. So let's quickly open it up. And okay, 16 was a little bit quicker. I have to give it to the left-hand side, and we'll go for this. And we will click continue at the same time, and we'll see which one loads quicker. And it seems like both of them are pretty quick. And oh, okay, there was a couple seconds different, so I'll have to again give it to the left hand side. It was much quicker. And now time for Genshin Impact. That is one of the most intense and heavy, like this game consumes a lot of memory. So this one is, I think, over 35 gigabytes on iOS. And let's open it up and see how it loads. And so the game mode is kicking on for every single game, so iPhone knows which one is a game, which one is not, so you don't have to turn it on manually or anything. And okay, so this side, again, the left-hand side wins, but still we will be loading into the actual game now. So I'll tap on the screen at the same time on both. Right, and okay, so this time the 15 Pro Max loaded quicker, but this one is tap to begin almost like already there, and this one like loaded that bar quicker, but still this one was ready for loading the real actual game and making it playable. But let's quickly tap the screen and begin it. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll see now which one loads quicker inside the actual game. Okay, both of them loaded at the exact same time, so I'll have to call it a tie. And so it was a tie, and so far they're running head to head. Sometimes the left side is quicker. In some applications, the right side is quicker. And let's go to the next line of applications that we have. So these games, we got GTA San Andreas and Vice City Definitive Edition available right here. And I'm having issues with the Vice City a little bit, but we will still be able to test the loading time. And let's quickly go to San Andreas. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this one is wobbling a lot more than this one. But so far, both of them, because we'll have to tap on the screen. Okay, so GTA San Andreas crashed on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And this one is still loading. So this one loaded and this one crashed. So I'll definitely have to give it to the left-hand side. And let's move to the next one, which is GTA Vice City. And let's see which one loads quicker in this area. So both of them loaded at the exact same time. And we will see which one actually brings up the start game menu. And there, so both of them exactly at the same time. This one logged in, this one is not. So, but again, Vice City loaded perfectly fine. Both of them, again, call it a tie between left and right. And now for the PUBG Mobile, one of the most popular games on iOS and Android. And I play this one a lot, so let's open it up. And we'll see. Okay, so clicked at the same time, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max was pulling a lead. But now, in the loading times, I think iPhone 16 is a little bit ahead. Okay, so this is changing. Okay, perfect. So this one is almost 3 seconds quicker than the right-hand side. So I'll have to give it to the left-hand side, obviously, in this section. And after PUBG Mobile, we have a really, really exciting game, which is called War Thunder Mobile. This game was specially promoted by Apple in their Apple event of launching the iPhone 16 lineup, because they said that the ray tracing that they featured and the ray tracing capabilities of the iPhone 16 lineup was featured on this particular game, because this game has a lot more control over different graphic settings, and this one also gives you benchmarks like how much FPS you are currently at. So this one got an FPS meter right built inside the game, and this one is worth a whole separate video, so I'll make that one happen. And let's open War Thunder and see which one opens quick. 1, 2, and here we go. Okay, so far 15, so the right hand side is in the lead. And okay, so now left hand side is in the lead. And okay, so iPhone 16 takes the crown here as well. So like when I click on it, like this one is much quicker to start loading it, but when the loading happens, this one is much more quicker in processing the loading and making it happen faster. So again, have to give it to the left hand side. And now for the camera, so we're past almost we're almost to the end, but these ones, all the benchmarks and stuff's gonna take longer. So let's open the camera. So creative applications, and the camera opened pretty much at around the same time, but right hand side was a little quicker. Let's open LumaFusion. This is the software of choice on iOS for editing videos and stuff, and iPhone 15 is Pro Max is kind of giving up and problem starting the application, but still, once I started it, this is pretty quick. So I'll still have to give it to the left hand side because this one showed a problem at the beginning, but still, after clicking OK, this one is fine. And I have loaded exactly the same projects in both of these, 3 minutes and 59-second 4K 30 FPS SDR video. And when the benchmark, we will begin and we will do export of these projects as well. And also same goes for iMovie, but I don't use iMovie, but for the benchmarking purpose, we will have this one exported in iMovie as well. Exact same 30 FPS 4K project right here created. So for opening the application and loading, I'll have to give it a tie for iMovie. And let's go for Final Cut Camera. So if you don't know what this is, Final Cut Camera is a manual camera application from Apple, and built specifically to use with Final Cut of iPad. But still, this one standalone also works awesome. You have much more wider control over the camera. But still, Apple, by time to time, we are getting a lot more manual functions in the regular camera applications, but this one is also good to have. And 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'll have to give it to the left hand side, and that was just a tiny bit quicker. And before we moving to the benchmark section, I just wanna quickly review the last couple of applications and see if they're open. I don't expect the video games to stay open because these are really, really high-end video games that we got here. So I don't expect them to be over there and available. So let's open the App Store, the first application. Okay, so it got refreshed a little bit, and let's move to the back one again. So all of them are still open. We can open them from here too. Let's go to App Store, or sorry, Apple Store, and that one also got refreshed. And the calculator stayed in the background. Let's go to News, and that one stayed in the background too, so it didn't get refreshed. And Snapchat got refreshed. And let's open ChatGPT. ChatGPT stayed, didn't get refreshed. And Assassin's Creed Mirage, I'm not expecting this one to be in the background. Okay, so this one is starting from the beginning. So yeah, so for the lighter applications, yes, RAM is doing absolute fantastic job of keeping the applications loaded and much quicker to go back and forth between the applications. But for much intense tasks, don't expect the phone to keep them loaded and make the CPU and GPU work extra hard. So let's move to the benchmarking process, and so far let's check how much our battery is doing. Right now the left hand side is at 95% and the right hand side is at 97%. So obviously this one is a Pro Max model and this one is a regular 16 model, so there is gonna be a battery difference. But still, let's move to the benchmarking process. So we'll open Luma Fusion, and we will start the export at the same time with the same settings. So we'll go to Movie, we'll select Photos, and here are the settings. So 4K 30 FPS, standard 50 megabits per second, and I'll have to click this at the exact same time. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I clicked it at the exact same time, and we will see which one finishes quicker. And because I did this exact same benchmarking process, the iPhone 16 Pro Max absolutely crushed the last year's 15 Pro Max in the exporting of this exact same project. So it was by almost like 1 minute quicker, like double the speed, I mean. So like by the time the 15 Pro Max was at 50%, the 16 Pro Max was almost finished at that time. So if you're interested in watching that video, the iPhone 16 Pro Max versus 15 Pro Max speed test, so I'll have it linked in the description down below. You can check it out later. And so far, the interesting results that I am seeing, so these are almost exactly at the same time. So but still, this iPhone 15 Pro Max, so the right hand side, is just a couple seconds ahead if you look at like at what time the render is currently going on. So the 15 Pro Max is a little bit quicker, but not that much. So we will see the regular iPhone 16 of current year can beat the Pro of the last year. And So far, most of the games, this one, the left-hand side was quicker, and most of the applications left-hand side was quicker. And so yeah, so the 15 Pro Max finished just a couple seconds ahead, and so I'll have to give it to the right-hand side just by a little bit. And let's now do the same export in iMovie, and we will open this project right here. So I'll click share and share or save video. And as you can see, I have selected 4K, and frame rate is 30 FPS on both. And both of them started at the exact same time, and we will see if iMovie is optimized, because this is a first party software and LumaFusion is the third party. So far, as we can see again, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so the right hand side is going in the lead, but not by a lot, just by a little bit of margin. So just by a few seconds here and there, and just exactly the same as LumaFusion. So because this one is a Pro chip, even still from the last year, Pro is a Pro, this one has a better GPU. So again, exactly the same results as LumaFusion. The right hand side was a couple seconds quicker. And now we will do the speed test, and okay, so iPhone 16 was a little quicker in this one, so I'll have to give it to the left-hand side. And we won't be able to do the speed test like exactly at the same time by pressing both of them at the same time, because they are connected to the same Wi-Fi, and the results won't be accurate because they both will be trying to get data exactly at the same time from the Wi-Fi router. So what we are gonna do, we will check and see. So we'll choose the exact same server for both. And so this one is in Merlin, and I will choose Merlin for this one as well. And right now, both the servers are exactly the same. Let's go for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and we'll begin from the right-hand side. And we'll see how much speed and how much ping and upload speed do we get in this little guy right here. And so far, as you can see, this one is showing a lot better speed. So 1372 megabits per second. So that's a lot, and more than enough for downloading video games, uploading YouTube content. So 159 megabits per second upload speed. And now for the time for testing the regular iPhone 16. So we'll go ahead and see. Hopefully this one will do better. Okay, well, this one is doing absolutely better. So look at that. Okay. So this one went, I think, touched almost 1500 megabits, but then after touching that speed, it came down to 1389. So 159 upload and 1389 and 1372. So I won't say that's a huge difference. So exactly the same amount of speeds that we're getting in this section right here. And we will start the Geekbench score as well. And so this Geekbench 6 is kind of optimized for iPhone 15s as of now, and we haven't received an update to the application, but the score of the performance or the stress test won't be affected by that. That was just the application's loading. And let's quickly run for the CPU benchmarks, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so as we can see, the left-hand side is in the lead, and iPhone 16 finished the stress test and the benchmark quicker than the 15 Pro Max. So, but 15 Pro Max is almost done as well. Okay, let's see here. So these ones are the CPU benchmarks, and as you can see, the left-hand side, the benchmark score is much higher as compared to the last year's Pro chip. So this one is 17 Pro, this one is A18. A17 Pro, A18 regular. So there's a big difference. So 400 score difference in the single core, and then almost 1,000 difference in the multi-core. So let's run for the GPU benchmark right now, and we will see how that goes. And 1, 2, and 3 to run. And as we can also see the battery, and so now these both are draining battery kind of at the same rate. And 93% remaining, 91. Oh, okay. So now this one is moved a little down. This one is 91%. This one is still at 93%. But again, this one is a bigger device, bigger battery, smaller device, smaller battery, and but smaller screen as well. But we'll see at the end of the test, and I'm gonna quietly sit back now and let this test finish. All right, so looks like the GPU test is moving much quicker on the last year's 15 Pro Max. So because a 17 Pro chip has a bigger GPU, larger core count, and so that's why this one is done quicker. But the score is not that much different. So as you can see, the left hand side also finished after just a couple seconds of the right hand side. And as we compare these scores, this one is, if we round figure it, these are just 2 points and we can make it 2800. And this one, so there is approximately 386 points difference. Not a lot, not a huge difference. So because considering this one is a non-pro chip, but this is still like a 3 nanometer, second gen, first gen, a huge improvement from Apple. So nice to see. And now let's move to the 3D Mark. And we will running this test. This is solely for like testing high performance graphics for high-end mobile devices and computers. So we will running this test, and we will just running into the recommended mode, and let's start. So I pressed start at the same time, but the 15 Pro Max was a little quicker to start the test actually. As you can see, the loading bar is processing much faster on this one, and this one is getting stuck at around 95% right here. But still, we will wait for the actual results to finish. As you can see, the 15 Pro Max has started rendering the actual frames for this test, and the 16 on the other hand is still loading. Okay, so this is the part that I want to mention, and I don't like this about the 15 Pro Max and the Pro series. As you can see, because of the stress tests, the phone is getting hot and the brightness has decreased a lot on the 15 Pro Max device. And this one has also been running the exact same stress tests on this one for exactly the same amount of time, exactly same number of applications were thrown on both of these. Okay, so this one is dimming down as well, but not that much. But this one is also, the screen is dimmed a little bit on the iPhone 16, but the screen is much darker, much less brighter on the last year's 15 Pro Max. All right, so the test on the last year's 15 Pro Max, right hand side has finished it. And as you can see, the average frame rate it scored is 9.6 frames per second, and the overall score is approximately 1300 or 1298 if you want to be precise. And we will wait for the 16 to finish, and we will see. And while we are waiting for that, as you can see, the brightness level is still cranked to the max, but because of the screen, or because of the load that we have put on this, because of the stress and everything, this phone got hot and dimmed down the brightness. And this one scored much higher, and as you can see, 1424, and frames are 10.5 frames per second, so that's about 1 frame difference. As you can see, this one is also at the peak brightness, and this one is much more brighter than this one, and even though both of them are at the peak. And let's run for the Geekbench AI. So mostly the AI will be happening on the neural engine, because that's the one that's mostly responsible for the machine learning and stuff. So we will run the benchmarks for neural engine, and GPU is also somewhat responsible, but not as much as the neural engine. So, and also as you can see, RAM on both of the devices is 8 gigabytes, approximately the same. Like this is showing the exact amount of RAM that's available as of now. And run the AI benchmarks. Okay, so far the pre-results, as by judging the lead and judging by the progress, the last year's iPhone 15 Pro Max is moving much quicker, even on the neural engine benchmark for AI. And but this one is much slower, and this one is about to be finished, and this one is still stuck at 60 or 65%, or now maybe moved to 70. And we have just received the results for the 15 Pro Max, and we will wait for the 16 to finish, and we will compare, and we'll see how that one performed. So as this one is running a little slower in these benchmarks, so I'm not expecting it to be, oh, okay. So as you can see, the results are completely mind-bending, because this one is much slower to process the whole benchmark, but this one scored much higher as compared to the last year's iPhone 15 Pro Max. So I'll have to give it to the left-hand side. As you can see, single precision score is 4169. On this one, 3945. So that's about 200 points difference. And half precision score is 32,643. On this one, 24,288. So that's a huge difference in half precision score. And quantized score, that one is 44,000 and 33,000. So there is as well like more than 11, or I think approximately 11,000 points difference. So AI features will definitely be working better on the newer models, but still, this one, last year's Pro models are still gonna get the AI, and once it's here, we will be doing that test as well. So as you can see now, as the iPhone 15 Pro Max had time to cool down a little bit, so the brightness has went up again, so we are glad for that. And that's pretty much it, everybody. So for me, the iPhone 16 takes the crown over the last year's Pro. So, but if you already have 15 Pro Max, there is absolutely no reason to upgrade. But if you have some money lying around and you want the latest and the greatest, then definitely go for it. And if you have the Pro already, you'll definitely be going for the Pro model in the 16 as well. And that's pretty much it for this one, and stay tuned for more videos like this.